Interesting stuff. I want to get to this. I've said before, I've made my kind of comments known about Westbrook, a great transformative talent, but I think there's limitations how far he can get you. I think he plays in a tunnel. I think there's a certain rigidity to him, and I think this year you've come a little bit toward my side that you love him more than I do, but there is a certain rigidity. And I think the franchise is walking on eggshells around him because it's a small market. So Sam Presti comes out after the season ended, and this is classic Sam Presti in Oklahoma City, terrified of Westbrook. The quote is, "There's a reason so many people are in this room today. Russell has helped us achieve a certain level." Okay. Then he goes on to say, well, he's not perfect. None of us are. Obviously, don't qualify it. Then he goes on to say, I'm not going to let 11 years of contributions be overshadowed by a couple of pretty tough months. It's not a pretty tough months. It's 3 years, first-round exits, 3 years, and 4 total playoff wins. I think this is classic Presti. And by the way, Westbrook in his Presti said, among other things, Russell's changed. I see growth. But here was Russell's exit interview. He was actually in a very good mood. So I like when he talked. He was at the happiest I've seen him forever. It's almost like the stress of the season was done. But he said this.
If you want to determine my career and what I've done over 2-3 games, you go ahead. That don't mean to me. It doesn't. I'm going to wake up, like I told you before. 3 beautiful kids. I'm going to wake up, smile, be happy, enjoy my life. It doesn't change anything talk about if I played bad or who's better, who's not. I know who I am as a person, and that's the biggest thing I can say about myself. I know who I am. I know what I'm able to do. I know my capabilities. I know what I've done. I know what I can and can't do. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with who I am. I'll just be blessed to wake up every day and enjoy my life. So to talk about, I don't even know what talk you're talking about, but whatever that is, you guys can keep talking about it, and I'm going to keep living my life.
By the way, he's happy. He does feel like the season stress is off his shoulder. That's the happiest he's been. But what he's saying is, I am what I am. Well, the issue is 3 years, 4 wins. We want you to understand that some of what you are can be a little enigmatic or problematic for the franchise and teammates. So what do you make of that whole thing?
Well, when you look at that press conference juxtaposed against the ones in the playoffs, okay, after every game, that is what you need to know about Russell Westbrook. That's the problem, if you will. He can't turn it on and off, okay? During the game, he's on, and he's playing 110 miles an hour every single game, every single minute of the game. That's why he can rack up the triple doubles, but that's also why he doesn't play the minute 46 differently than minute 16, and that's a problem for them. You saw it in the press conferences in the playoffs. He's still in game mode. He can't turn it off. So he's all amped up. He's got his game face on. He's mad. He's not answering questions. Now that the season is over, he can turn it off. And that's what you saw. By all accounts, Russ is a nice guy.
Yeah, this is
Paul George is raved about. He got George to stay.
Yes, this is it. When Russell comes into the phone booth of the arena and he puts that cape on, he has got this is Russell. If you talk to people outside the arena, he's 2 people. He really is. He's like nice, fashionable, fun, great dad, Russ. He enters that arena, and it's like a boxer with no jab.
Right. He's throwing haymakers. And just like he can't turn it off in the game or in the press conference, he can't turn it off in the game. And that's the challenge. As far as Sam Presti's comments, I'm fine with that publicly. Because obviously, you don't come out and just blast your franchise
Of course.
players. So I'm fine with the sugarcoating and the walking on eggshells and all that, but behind closed doors, as long as you're telling him the truth. He is right. They've been talking with Russ about this for years, understanding time and score, pace of play. That's why Mo Cheeks is there as an assistant. I mean, Mo Cheeks was one of the most poised point guards we've ever seen.
Sure was.
He totally knew how to play that way. So you know how frustrating it can be for him when Russ doesn't get it. The thing is he? I don't know that he's ever going to be able to get it.
No, I just think this is who Russell is, and it's okay. He's a gift to all of us. If you've ever seen Russell Westbrook play live, he's a gift to all of us. But there are players. He's a very rigid personality, and when you add the layer of intensity of the playoffs to an intense guy, did you notice how happy he appeared?
Right.
It was like you lifted. Do you know how bummed out MJ would be after getting out of the first round of the playoffs? Michael Jordan was still petty in his Hall of Fame speech. Russell felt like, all right, that play. That's, I think, in fact, I saw a story earlier this year from Royce Young, who covers OKC.
Yep.
And Royce said, he goes, when it was Paul's team, it was a little more chill locker room. Paul got hurt, it became Russ's team. The locker room got a little tight. And because I do think intense people, I think that, what's the word I'm looking for? It spreads. Like if I was really intense and a yeller and a screamer.
It's contagious.
It's contagious.
Yeah.
Intensity's contagious. So is chill. And I think Russell adds an intensity. I want to segue to this. The Sixers have big decisions. Embiid, Simmons, Butler, Tobias Harris, can't pay all of them. Okay, Embiid, 6 treatments to be able to play. He is hurt.
At 25 years old.
You don't like Butler as much as me. I'm Philly. I want to keep Butler.
I love Jimmy Butler is a terrific player. Terrific. Okay, and you see he's their closer. He's their not only shot, but he has to be huge for them to be able to win this series. So yeah. I like putting the ball in his hands the way they did yesterday. No problem with Butler's game. There's no way I'm turning my franchise over to him. Number one, he'll be 30 years old in September. Okay, so signing him for 4 year, a max deal, that's, I think, going to be a bad investment. And number two, we know what he does to locker rooms. He's had trouble when he hasn't had the money. Like this year, he's going into free agency and he has trouble in locker rooms. What do you think he's going to do when you empower him with a $150 million contract or something? His issues in Chicago, Minnesota, a little bit in Philadelphia are with younger guys that are younger than him that he doesn't really have to answer to. If I love him with the Lakers. If the Lakers end up getting Jimmy Butler, I think because LeBron is older, his stature in the league, I think Butler will respect that and won't cause the problems that he has in other locker rooms. I'm not turning the Sixers over to Jimmy Butler.
Okay, who you turning over to?
I'm keeping my young guys. Now, I agree with what you're saying a bit about Embiid. I wouldn't give up on him this summer, but at some point soon, they're going to have to sit down and say, do we need to trade him prematurely?
64% of the games as a Sixer, he hasn't played.
Yeah, and like you said, 6 treatments at 25 years old. You may need to move. Look, here's the thing. Ben Simmons can slide into the Joel Embiid role, and he's not as good as Embiid at it, but you'll be fine. He can score in the post. I don't have to worry about trying to put him on the perimeter where nobody's going to guard him. He can score down low. He can move down there around the painted area. If you double him, he's a tremendous passer, and he can get the ball off the rebound and lead the break. And if I don't get the fast break points, then in the half court, I'm playing him near the basket. You would be fine. If you can trade Embiid and get some great shooters.
By the way, this is my thing.
One star. I need a star, though.
Think about what injuries did to the Portland Trailblazers. Brandon Roy and Greg Oden. Or they could be the Warriors. Seriously.
No,
to me, I always start with availability is the beginning of ability. I love Embiid. 25, 6 treatments a day to get on the floor.
And remember, they dealt with this with Andrew Bynum. Fortunately, they ended up giving him the huge contract, but you saw Bynum was a talented player.
Huge talent.
Yeah.
Chris Broussard. Coming up next, I'm going to lay out coaches in, free agents in, drafts in, what I believe are the top 10 NFL teams, and there'll be some pushback on that. I can tell you right now, one city is not going to like my answers.
Bet I can guess what city that is.
What? They already don't like me. What's it matter? I'm not making friends there. That's coming up, hour 2. Thanks, Chris. It's The Herd.